on, let me just see. Hold on, guys. Let me just check if everything is working at the moment. Just because I just want to make sure that there's no mistakes. All right, hold on, real quick. Adjust that for. Yeah, guys, I'm literally just filming off my iPhone, so it is what it is, right? Almost forgot one thing. We got that hat. And I know it's not over here, guys, but just wanted to let you know about that. All right, there we go. There, that's more like it, right? And lighting looks good. Looks like we're okay. Maybe just get something straight. Hold on, just check this out real quick. Um, yeah, I got it. All right, so what is up, guys? This is Mr. T coming at you live from NYC. Welcome back to Convos, our podcast over here at Tim Talks. And hey, guys, welcome back to another live stream. Just want to, see how it goes because guys, if you guys probably already can tell, I changed the time in which I do the live stream just because you guys asked, someone had asked, and just because I was looking over at the analytics and seeing that many of you guys were already online toward the night, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a live stream over at night, and so here I am. So that's pretty much the gist of how I got to doing live streams over at night. And so there's another thing I want to mention real quick. You probably noticed as well that I changed the channel name just a little bit. So now it's called like Convos with Mr. T. Reason being is because there were just so many other channels that were also going by that name. They're also going by Convos. It's not to stand out, but it's more so just when I'm trying to search and just to see. Some people were asking me like searching it up, and then from there, what happened was that it kind of kept going with other channels, and that's awesome as well. But when they're trying to find me specifically, it's kind of difficult sometimes, right? So you guys can kind of get the gist. I'm gonna see how the new name rolls. It will still be called Convos. It's just more so I'm trying to just make it into the mainstream, right? I'm just trying to get it out there. And so, we'll see how it goes. I don't know how it's gonna go. Hopefully it goes well, and if it does, I'm gonna keep it. If it doesn't, I'm gonna just see if what I can do to just change it around and make it so that it's accessible to everyone. All right. That's just how I wanted to go with the channel, and so that's just the minor update that I have. And so, guys, you probably saw the title. And this was just happening very recently. In fact, it just happened a couple minutes ago. And there was this film that was actually showcased on Disney. It was called Wish. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was watching it over on TV, and I was actually pretty thrilled when I actually saw it. And I know we have some reservations about, for example, with Disney and what's their stance about their films and whatnot. And just looking at it over there, first off, when you guys have seen the trailer, I know many of you guys around the world have seen it. First off, Disney has gone back to its roots. I feel as though they're moving back to where they were initially supposed to go. In fact, they should have been going there the whole time, right? But it's just, with the direction of the company, and there's just a lot of forces at play. And let's be honest, not all of the decisions were good. And what with all, for example, like the remakes that they're doing, and what with all the controversy that's been going on over there with Disney, whether it be like their CEO or whether it be just their animation style in general. And many people they were losing faith in Disney and thinking like, is this just gonna be the knockoff? Is Disney actually gonna fall behind the other studios that were actually looking to Disney for support and inspiration? And that's the gist when it came down to how Disney was looking like at the moment. Because literally, I've been seeing remakes through and through. Like for example, with Beauty and the Beast, which was actually pretty good. And then we got, for example, Aladdin, which was in the middle. It was good because of the phenomenal cast, and I think many of you guys can agree as well that they put their heart out into that remake. And then the Little Mermaid came, and really that's just like a hint as to how Disney was really reacting and how they were going about with their stance on animation, and what with just leeching off the titles that were before them and then just monetizing it off of that. And it is under them, and that's literally they own the brand, they own the titles, they own pretty much the gist of all of that. And so Disney was opting to do that, and they fell behind. They lagged behind a lot in terms of where they got their roots from, which was not just it was animation, right? So animation was literally their go-to from the beginning. and to see them lag behind, and you've seen like the world now is just antagonizing animation, and it's kind of sad as well that Disney was falling into that, because Disney is a phenomenal company. Don't get me wrong, they can do things and they are very capable of doing stuff, and I've seen it in terms of their shows over on Disney Channel. I've seen, for example, like the Owl House, Amphibia, Gravity Falls, and it fell in line with that. And just to see it fall down the rails and to see the company actually fall and spiral into that depth of animation loss, it's just it's very disheartening sometimes. And I don't know what to say there with regards to that. And I know that they're trying to get back into it, what with their centenary coming up, right? So they're celebrating that. And now with Wish, here's the thing: when I looked at the trailer for the first time, first off, the character is very new and very different, right? It's not leeching off the other characters. Maybe it was inspired by other characters. I know her name was Asha, and Asha actually, I believe in Arabian, it stands for wish, literally the title of the film. And so when I actually heard that, I said, okay, so it's actually connecting. There's many connections going on over there. But also, when it came down to starting it off, right? Well, first off, the narrator was excellent, but little did we know that that was actually going to be the villain, right? Well, truth be told, we know that he was going to be a part of the film, but we didn't actually know that he was going to be the villain in that whole intro. So just to have seen that and to see that twist was already thrilling to me, because of the fact that, you know, usually Disney is known for twist villains, and more so they got accustomed to doing that instead of just having a go-to straightforward villain. And many people have said that as well, that Disney needed to go back to its roots. Disney needed to have a straightforward villain that they needed to really focus on, and just try not to trick people into thinking, hey, who's the villain, right? Because sometimes it can be very clear cut. And what, with Disney, I really feel as though, because they're going back to that person, I think his name was like King Magnifico. I think as though that should be the case there. We already know for the fact that he's going to be the villain throughout the film. And we know for the fact that he is abusing his power. He's a tyrannical king. And we know that from a fact that just the way he was portraying himself as this all powerful and all omnipotent being. And just to see all of that in the very first couple of seconds of the trailer was just phenomenal. And I think that really gave us an insight into his character and a build up into what could be expected for the rest of the film. Because we know through and through that Disney is ditching the whole twist villain kind of scheme, and they're actually being straightforward with how they want to portray their villains. And that's actually the root of Disney. Going back into that and just seeing it all for ourselves, it's really just a blast. And seeing it there was absolutely amazing and absolutely stunning, in regards to just seeing the fact that we actually got a real villain and we actually got a real story getting down to it. All right, so that's it for the villain, but now on to the main protagonist, right? So I believe that, again, her name was Asha, but I believe the goat, or I don't know what animal that particularly is, so forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. But we go into him and Valentino, I believe that was the name of her sidekick. And so, just to see it, first off, the style and the animation is absolutely different. It's well within the lines of, for example, let's say, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or for example, DreamWorks dropping the base on, for example, like The Bad Guys, or all those different animation styles, because Disney knows that that's the key to, just being able to get back into what they do. Changing around their style, and to to actually listen to us, right? Because we know for a fact that animation is breathtaking in and of itself. But to actually see that Disney is actually taking it on there and taking it seriously and actually experimenting with it is amazing. Because when I first looked at it, I thought it was a storybook. I literally thought of that. And just to see the devotion within those first 2 minutes of everything, literally the animation was breathtaking. To see the characters interact with each other was absolutely phenomenal. And to see it center on a theme based off of like Pinocchio, was that the wish. And where dreams come true, where wishes can happen, right? And I feel that there's more that's gonna be told, because Disney, albeit it hasn't been good on some fronts with animation, they do have a mastery. And let's be honest, guys, and for those of you who joined in again, welcome. You guys are always happy to be here. Feel free to jump in into the conversation. Let me know if anything. All right. So back to what I was saying. So with regards to Disney, again, sometimes they're half and half. They had really successful shows on Disney Channel, and the Disney company where they're making the films, they seem to have drawn inspiration from that with the new leadership and whatever, right? So just to be able to, see that happen and to see them draw inspiration from each other. Again, with Disney, they're literally so spread out that their companies may not be thinking the same way. If you really think about it, Disney Animation Studios, compared to Disney Animation Television Animation Network, again, those are two different subsidiaries of Disney. So they think differently all in terms of gaining profit, right? But it seems as though now they're really working and getting their act together. And it's clearly seen in Wish. And Wish really showcases now they're really focusing on the speciality that it is Disney. And there might be mental health within it. And I'm rooting for that because that's something as well we always got to look at, right? The world has got to get its act together. And if Disney can do that, absolutely. I'm really thrilled to see what they can do with Wish, right? And what was also phenomenal was the soundtrack. And let's be honest, guys, if you've seen the trailer, and I probably will drop it down in the description. I'll drop down the link, and just so you guys can look into that later. Saw three people. Hey guys, what up? So again, with the soundtrack, with Ariana, I think her name is Ariana DeBose. Absolutely stunning, absolutely amazing. Just to hear and listen and breathe, let it all take it all in, and just to hear that the soundtrack really was meant for this film. And that's another thing to make note of, is that the soundtrack really ties in to what the film is gonna be for sure about. Hey, Sassy. Really, for sure, the film is gonna tie into that, and the soundtrack really gives us, you know, that smooth transition throughout the trailer, and it made my heart break and it made my ears tear up. And I don't usually do that, but to actually and truly be able to see that Disney had done that once more, instead of just not another foolish or another mistake of a remake or whatever, right? But just to see it for myself was absolutely thrilling and absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot emphasize with you guys enough how breathtaking and how significant this trailer was. From from an adult standpoint, I think children will get into it, and I think adults will get into it. And I think Asha is a very phenomenal character who really showcases a lot about what Disney has to offer, right? Disney is going into 100 years, it's going into its centenary, it's going into literally 100 years since the date was thought about. But just to see it for ourselves is amazing. I don't know how I can get this through the screen long enough, or how to penetrate through my phone, but literally I can tell you guys right now, everything from the colors, the style, the visuals, Asha's character, Valentino's comedy, the voice actors were phenomenal. And Disney is actually having an antagonist, a villain once more. And just to hear the soundtrack, see the visuals, see literally Disney popping back into life. And I really feel, other studios, again, they gotta watch out, because again, if Disney was the inspiration for other animation studios, just think about what happens when they finally get back into what they want to do, right? So literally, it's absolutely amazing, and which is something that I feel many people should check out. And seriously, guys, I really feel that everyone can really get into it, and it's absolutely breathtaking. And I don't know how to emphasize it enough. I don't even have enough words to just convey with you guys like what the heck I'm trying to say. But I think it's more than enough to say that, again, look forward to what Disney has to offer. It's okay to feel like a little bit of skepticism, and it's okay to feel that, even with regards to everything that Disney has done and other networks have done. Again, that's completely fine. It's just more so keep an open mind as to what other people have in mind, right? Because again, Disney is gonna do a phenomenal job with this. I feel as though that they do have a chance, and if this chance comes to pass, that regardless of whatever they do, they at least know that they can always go back to it. Let's really think about that and say, oh, Disney can actually, as a company, not just focus on like the money or whatever, but really give an insight as to what's important. It's animation, right? I love cartoons. I love anime. I literally love webtoons. I've seen those things for myself, and it's amazing. So, guys, just to let you know, there's another thing I want to mention throughout the live stream. Again, if you guys have a comment, if you guys have something that you want me to discuss throughout the discussion, because I got my own topics, but I also want to get down to what you guys have to say and what you guys feel that you want me to talk about, right? This time is also for you guys. It's not just about the topic that I put in the thumbnail, right? And even then, I probably might have to change the thumbnail. So just stop me if you want to, and I'll get back to your comment real soon, right? But it's nice as well to see that other people are on, and it's nice as well to see that you guys are over here, and I really appreciate it just because of the fact that, like I said, we're still up and coming, and we're still have a long way to go to just see everything. But for all it's worth, again, you guys are really phenomenal. You guys are stunning, and you guys are amazing. And again, feel free to jump into the comments. I will absolutely see it from here, just to let you guys know that, right? So you guys are amazing. So again, that's my thoughts on Wish. I really have high hopes for them, and I really have high hopes for what's to come. I really have that optimism about Disney, even though they've been, I don't know how to describe it, but they've been at that point. But if they can get their act together, absolutely, right? And again, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. Don't let me bust you just because of the fact that I got my own opinion. But really, it's good that we have our own, right? It's really good that we have our own, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to get over with on the live stream, right? But there's another part that many people are really thinking about is, YouTube. First off, the YouTube platform, and I actually got this comment as well on how to be a better YouTuber, right? Which is saying a lot because right, I'm a podcaster, but I also dabble in a lot of things, right? I dabble in mental health. I dabble in life advice. I dabble in memes now, like relatable memes that I think many people could enjoy, right? And it's just like to get the stress out, because everyone's stressing the f out, and I don't want that to happen to other people, and I'm gonna be very honest with that because of the fact that, again, what with what's going on in the world, people shouldn't feel that, right? And again, animation is just one way, but there are many ways to do so, right? But back to YouTube, right? I think for any of you guys out there who really want to be a better YouTuber, a better podcaster, or just like a better anything on social media, there's just these tips that I got for you guys. And I know that was in the second half, and I know many other people are trickling in, and that's completely fine. Whoever's watching this, again, thank you as well for sticking around, and thank you for the whoever's just giving this wonderful thing a shot, right? But anyway, so back to being a YouTuber, right? There are many ways to go about it, and many people have asked about what it takes to actually get into YouTube and actually to get down to the things that you love, right? And there's just a lot to go around in terms of advice, but I boiled it down to 10. So I literally have my other phone over here. You guys can see here. I don't know what this is, but you guys can see over here that I have other advice for you guys, right? So again, for any of you guys who tune in later on, again, this is something for you guys and how to actually get better at YouTube. Because of the fact that, with YouTube, again, it seems as though it can be very difficult. There's a lot of creators out there. And let's be honest, many of them are really good. But again, it's not to envy. It's literally not to be jealous, because the YouTube is an open-minded platform. And it's not about just getting big, it's about making a difference, right? You come onto YouTube and just remember where you came from. Just remember as well that YouTube is just this platform where you can go on and be who you are regardless, right? Coming into YouTube, again, many people wonder. You asked me as well, like, what advice I could give for YouTubers. Hey, Christine, welcome. So yeah, guys, I'll greet you in the chat. If you message in the chat, I'll be able to see you, right? So there's that as well. And I know I keep interrupting or whatever, but it is what it is, right? And call me out if it looks annoying, right? So again, with YouTube, I came up with these 10 tips here, and I know you want me to get down into them. Again, you always can skip ahead in the live stream once it's finally uploaded to YouTube, right? But anyway, so the first thing I thought of when you're getting onto YouTube or getting into anything in general on social media, don't clickbait, right? So again, here's the thing um with my thumbnails, for example, like I just be honest, right? Just be honest with what's going on, right? I usually put quotes on the left and I put the design on the right, and it's really giving a detail as to what the heck I'm gonna talk about for that podcast or for that episode or whatever, right? Getting into YouTube, again, it's all about not wanting to clickbait, right? You don't just want to clickbait your audience into clicking it just because of, like, if you're gonna come up with a catchy title, please make it connect down to what it is that you're gonna talk about for that episode, right? So don't just put a random title and say, hey, it's just to get people in, because once people see you're lying, it's gonna suck. The backlash is it's gonna be awful, and sometimes it ends off YouTubers' careers, podcasters' careers. It doesn't matter what it is, right? But really, don't clickbait. Don't clickbait your audience. That's rule number one of everything. Please do not just convince other people on doing something. I thought I was doing the middle finger, but anyway, don't just convince your audience on something that's false. Tell them the truth. What's gonna go down, even if the episode is something that you didn't edit well or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as you speak the truth, right? Because there's so many liars, and eventually people will see it. People don't like when people lie. Let's be honest there, right? And then the second part is to stick to your niche, right? And what I mean by niche is that, for example, if you made a channel completely devoted to gaming, yeah, go for gaming, right? Literally go for gaming and try as much as possible to stick to it within the beginning, right? Because eventually when you become bigger and when you garner a better not a better audience, a bigger audience, and when you rise, as you keep going up, right? It's all about sticking with your niche as much as possible for the time being, because that's how many people got to know you. That's how many people got to recognize you, right? And so, like me, for example, I stick with life advice, mental health advice. What up, Jaden? Mental health advice, the truth, relatable memes, and all those things, right? So, just sticking with the niche is, again, really important, because then you can branch out to other things, right? Start off small and work your way up, right? It's all about that. And when it comes down to YouTube, again, they're very specific. If you're a gamer, you're going to the gaming section. If you're a blogger, you're going to go to the blogging section. And that's literally how YouTube can sort itself out. It's just the fact that if you're going onto YouTube, you need to be very specific about who you are at that moment before you actually get into other places. And it seems as though it's hard to stick to one thing when you got other things in mind. Again, that's why you gotta adapt real quick. So that's why I said, when it came down to my channel, when it came down to my podcast, that's why I put their life advice, mental health advice, memes, because I love memes. Who doesn't love memes, right? And the truth, right? So again, not too broad, but also specific enough to know what, for Madam YouTube or YouTube, to know what the heck we're doing, right? So again, if you got a niche, stick to it. It's gonna work out, right? And the third thing as well is experiment with your designs. Don't be afraid to be creative, right? If it looks good on your end, see how it goes, right? But also keep in mind as well, when it comes down to YouTube, is that you are part of a community. You're part of a community where people can also design as well, and that you can draw inspiration from other YouTubers. You can draw inspiration from other people on social media and say, hey, this looks cool. This is what you should go for. And this looks like something that will be helpful for your channel, right? Or whatever it is that you're on in social media, right? Get inspiration from other people, right? When it comes down to design, again, there's no limitation. Like, literally, people can criticize, but you made that, right? And some things will work out and some things may not, and that's completely fine. When it comes down to designing, again, it's all down to you as the person, right? If it looks good, awesome, but always keep an open mind as to what other people has got to show, right? Other people have awesome ideas. Literally, when I'm coming down to my thumbnails, I can't do portraits. That's Madame Audacity. That's my sis, and she's the one who's the artistic one. She's the one who's really in the know-how about how to design, and I thank her for that every single time, and I credit her for that because she did those designs. And so, having that collaboration, having that network is so important when it comes down to YouTube. And that also bodes well for making your channel not just look professional, but look the way that you want it, right? And she's right over there. Okay, so I always thank her for that, and it's amazing, right? So that's three. So again, don't clickbait. Stick to your niche. Experiment with your designs. And now on to four. Pay attention to the analytics. And now you're thinking, Mr. T, what the hell are you talking about, right? Now, if you're a creator, and many creators may see these or not, but you can go into your creator studio and go on the left side, you'll see analytics. And then from there you can see how your channel is doing. Now if you really want to get into the data, again, it's really about looking at that very carefully, right? And it's not to just jump into the trend, it's also to see as well, you know is there an error that's happening, right? And it's not just as well to look at the view count, and many people associated with, oh, you're a narcissist looking at the view count. Not really, because sometimes it tells you how things were going for that video. And for example, did something happen that was like a turnoff, right? you know did something happen during the video that was so weird and just so unexpected? Because sometimes, for example, when the views are lower on a video, maybe something happened during it. Maybe something happened during the video that many people caught, but you didn't in the midst of editing. Imagine me, for example, editing 30 or 40-minute videos at a time, right? Bound to be something is gonna happen, right? And it always hurts me when I let it happen. And I apologize if it ever has happened. That's why I always try and put a disclaimer at the beginning, just to make sure that if something had happened and I am aware of it, but I cannot edit it out all the way. That's why I gotta put that disclaimer. And the reason why is because sometimes I have guests on who don't have the necessary equipment, and I'm not gonna bitch about it and say, hey, you gotta get this just so that you can come on. I don't want to do that, right? What I can do is that if something happens during the session, or if something happens during the recording that I cannot edit out, I'm gonna put it there at the beginning, just so that people will know to adjust your volume, and just to be aware that something had happened. And I will always apologize for that every single time throughout in the description or whatever, right? I'm gonna make it known, because like I said, I'm not perfect. No one is perfect, but just to let it out there and to know that I can make mistakes, right? We're YouTubers, we're not gods. We make mistakes, right? We know what is important, right? So again, pay attention as well to the analytics, pay attention to the data if you really want to get down into it, right? And sometimes I look at it from time to time, but oftentimes, I just roll with whatever, right? Because literally, it's you. It's literally you who should be the one to really look at yourself and say, hey, you're doing fine, okay? Um, and then fifth thing ties in as well to what I was talking about earlier. It doesn't hurt to look at the thumbs, whether it be this or this. It doesn't hurt. And don't let that affect you, but let it guide you as to what's happening, right? Because, and I get it, some YouTubers want to get down to something controversial and give their opinion. That's completely fine, right? But sometimes as well, you just have to look at it and say, not let it affect you, but just let it guide you into saying, hey, did something happen during this, right? Because if this happens, it's best to check yourself, not in terms of, like, for example, oh, this YouTuber is bad, or I'm a bad YouTuber. It's more so, did you say something? Did you do something that might have happened, right? It's not like to hurt you in general, right? Because if you know you're doing okay, why is this happening, right? Something must have happened, right? Whether it be yourself or whether it be a hater. If it's a hater, you already know how to deal with that, right? You can easily block it off and block off the hate, and which I try as much as possible to do in the channel. I try as much as possible to keep the hate out and to know that this is a safe space for everybody, right? That's at Convos, it's a safe space, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. You guys, I again will always uphold that, right? So again, if this is okay, that's fine, right? But if this starts to go high, right, something happened. Whether it be your words that you're spouting off or sharing to the world, or it could be as well, something that happened during the editing. Again, pay attention to that, and again, just don't take it out on yourself, especially if it this came from like a hater. If it's a hater, you can easily get rid of it, right? But again, only pay attention really if this starts to look like it's spiraling out of control, right? Something happened, right? So it's always good to just take a look at that very carefully, right? But don't let it affect ourselves to the point where we want to hurt ourselves. That's not what we're trying to do, right? So we're halfway through. I got 5 more advices, and then I'll let you guys out, and you guys can enjoy. And whoever's sticking around, again, you are awesome. Whoever came in, again, welcome as well. You guys are awesome just for coming in, and I can't argue enough how important it is to do this. And now I know to do live streams at this time, right? So again, back to the advice. Again, don't clickbait, stick to your niche, experiment with the designs on YouTube. Pay attention to the analytics if you want. Again, look at the thumbs. If something happened here, something's going on, right? Something's going on, whether it's on your end or on someone on a hater's end, right? Because that can happen, and I've seen that happen, right? And then encourage your audience. That's number 6. Your audience, you guys out there are the reason why I do this. And just like I said, I'm focusing on mental health, life advice, the truth, the memes, The life advice is because we're all part of life. Mental health is because it's freaking happening. Memes is because who doesn't love memes? I do, and I think you guys do too. And comment down if you feel the same way, because I ain't gonna sugarcoat that. It's awesome to actually look at them. And then the truth, right? Whatever I'm saying here is literally gonna be the truth for you guys to hear, and I don't want to sugarcoat any of that, right? And if I made a mistake, I'm gonna be honest with it. Like I said, I've learned a lot from my parents, and my family was good to the point where I can learn, right? So I hope I'm doing the same thing here, and I'm honoring that legacy, right? So again, I'm encouraging you guys, to do whatever, right? And encouragement for a YouTuber is very important because you guys are the reason the channel happens. You guys are the reason why I get to come over here, get to record with a smile on my face, even though you may not see my face just like this over on the screen, but just to see it for yourself, and just to see you guys are getting involved in all this is absolutely awesome. Whether it be you subscribing to the channel, whether it be you liking the video, or whether it even be you just showing up and seeing who this guy is, right? Again, always makes my heart warm to see that happen, and I'm not gonna lie, it's absolutely stunning, and it's absolutely beautiful just to, see you guys involved in all of that, right? And again, this is just also for being a YouTuber out there, right? It's all about, seeing what your audience, if you're going for a specific audience, cater to them at that moment, right? And then if you branch out to something else, it's up to you how you want to talk with that audience, right? And then on to number 7, see what's trending. And I know what you're thinking, Mr. T, does that sound kind of narcissist, or does that sound kind of, like you're just bandwagoning off what's going on? Not always, right? Because what's trending might be somewhere where you have an opinion of it and other people are tuning in. And it's not just to grow an audience or whatever, but if you have an opinion on something that's going on right there in the world, it's best to check it out, right? Because I might have some of this. I got thirsty. So, again, guys, check out what's going on in the world, because the world keeps going. And if we're going to be part of this world, you might as well see what's going on there, right? You don't have to be involved with it. You just have to see what's going on, right? And when it comes down to being a YouTuber, it helps to, just have a glimpse at life, right? Even if you're afraid. Again, I'm going to get into being afraid later on. But really, when it comes down to YouTube, seeing what's trending, seeing what's going on, seeing not just what other people are doing, but what other people have an opinion of, that's important when it comes down to YouTube. And not gonna lie, not everything is good, but that's the whole point of why we see and why we hear, and not talk about it and not put it on YouTube, the biggest platform in the world, if you have something that may not be perceived in the right way, right? And again, it's okay to have your own opinion. It's okay to be able to have your own say. But again, look at things from both sides, right? See what's trending on both sides of the spectrum, especially when it comes down to something like a controversy. For example, like you got like Will Smith, or for example, you got like Amber Heard, or whatever, right? And those kind of things, right? Whatever's trending, again, you got to be very, very careful, right? Be very cautious and always honor that people, when they speak, it's not always stupid, right? When people say something, it's not that because they're stupid, it's more so because that other people have their own opinion and they might have gotten their information elsewhere. I mean, like, what's the whole point of, getting into the trend if we're not being very careful about what other people are thinking of, right? No one is stupid out there in the world, right? We make mistakes. That's what makes us human. But when we're jumping into the trend, be very careful what we're looking at, right? Yes, it's good for growing an audience, but it's also important just to be very careful. Be internet smart. Be very careful about that, all right? And then down to the last three, and I promise you guys, you are free to go for the rest of your night, right? But if you guys are here in the audience, again, just give me a thumbs up that you're here. If you're new, let me know, all right? And by thumbs up, I mean in the chat, okay? Just so I know. And I'll give you a shout out over here. And so, number eight, doesn't hurt to collaborate. Guys, we're YouTubers, but also keep in mind as well that growing an audience or whatever, it doesn't work by being alone, right? If you want to be who we are, if you want to go into those kind of things, right? If you want to go on to YouTube, there's other people out there in the world who gets you. There's other people in the world who feel for you and who can say, hey, it's awesome that you're here. Let's work together, right? Let's see what we can do together. And it's beautiful. It's an absolute trendsetter just to see other people collaborate and just to see what you can do as an audience and what you can do to collaborate with other people. And again, it's awesome. When it comes down to making a team with other people, or just to talk to another person and say, hey, I do this thing as well, it's awesome, and we should keep going, right? YouTube is that platform where there may be haters, and that much is for sure. And I know it's all BS sometimes, right? But again, when it comes down to growing, it's better to grow together than just alone, right? YouTube, when it comes down to social media, again, other people will hear you. And whatever it is with other people, again, it's you. It's all about you, and it's all about who you want to interact with, and YouTube is one of those best platforms, right? And being a better YouTuber means, seeing what other people's got, right? People are showing off what they got, and might as well see what's going on, right? And don't just hate on other people, right? Other people have their own opinions, other people have their own ways about going around things, right? So again, look to other people, look to other YouTubers, and look to other people who you can co-op with, collaborate with, and have fun with, right? And then number nine, it's YouTube. Again, be creative. I know I said for number three, experiment with design, but with YouTube and its creativity, again, feel free to do what you want to do, right? It's not just about focusing on design, because design is really, you're trying to do something, right? That's the difference between art and design. Art is where you're actually getting all the ideas that you could ever want, right? And having them all put down there for the world to see. But then when it comes down to design, you're being very dang specific, right? You're being specific with what you want. And so when it comes down to design, again, that's to cater to an audience. But to number nine that I put here, again, being creative is all that it is important as well. You know, there's other ideas, and there's so many ways in which you can go about that, which is awesome, and it's absolutely beautiful, right? Again, I'm gonna keep repeating that, but it's really, when it comes down to YouTube, all that creativity, what with the up and coming YouTubers to the really experienced ones. Again, it's all about getting creative with what you want to do. And I love that people are thinking of YouTube now as an artistic platform instead of just only a monetary platform, right? YouTube, of course, many people have their different motives for doing it, but just to actually see that other people are branching out to it and giving their own twist at video making and being an awesome creator, awesome, right? Not the best creator, I'm gonna admit that, but it's also, I don't hate other creators for what they do, because other people are awesome with what they do, and they really give their time to edit. And I know my edits are basic and simple or whatever, but again, it is what it is, right? And again, call me out if you ever want to, right? It's totally fine. And then the last bit is to not be afraid. I cannot stress out how important that is when it comes down to doing YouTube. Being a YouTuber is all about what you want to do, right? Being a YouTuber, being a podcaster, being on social media, it's all about you, right? And no one can tell you otherwise that you cannot be the best you. And on YouTube, it's absolutely an open platform to many things, right? And again, I know that some might be weird or whatever, right? But it's YouTube, right? And you'll find someone who might get you or who will get you, and you can see what happens there, right? But it's all about to not be afraid. You know, I cannot stress out that is so important on YouTube, and that's something that other creators can also agree on, right? When it comes down to YouTube, again, you came onto the platform because you wanted to, and no one else told you, right? You may have gotten inspiration from other people, but really, when it comes down to YouTube, it's more about what you wanted to do. No one else told you otherwise. No one else wanted you to do this, right? But you, it's up to you what you want to do on this platform. And how I wanted to do podcasts and how I wanted to do memes or whatever, other people have can do the same thing. They can go into gaming, they can go into blogging, they can go into interviewing, they can go into podcasting, they can go into all that shit and say, hey, I love this, I'ma keep going with that, right? And it is what it is. The platform is so open, and don't worry about views, don't worry about whatever, right? Unless you really want to get down into it. Like I said, even though I seem like I'm contradicting number four, paying attention to the analytics again, remember, to sum it all up, how we got onto YouTube is because we wanted to, not because of other things, right? Because a YouTuber who succeeds is the one who thinks, how can I grow? Not just how can I earn, because earning is pickles compared to what it is that you're gonna do as a YouTuber. You are an influencer, and it sounds weird, but it really is what it is. We're influencers, and other people can draw inspiration. And it's absolutely awesome. And it's absolutely breathtaking just to see it happen. And not gonna lie, it is absolutely something that I'm thrilled to do throughout my career as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, and just as an inspiration for other people, right? And again, I'm still experimenting. I'm still not perfect, but I for sure will continue to look into things. I will look into what makes, how to improve the channel, how to improve the podcast, and how it is to get down to you guys. And I know you guys are afraid sometimes to speak into the chat, and that's fine. That's fine. Because even I myself, I'm an introvert. I'm a dang introvert. I don't always know how to speak, and I don't know always how to reach out to people. It's fine, right? Because we shouldn't be afraid, right? So I'm gonna just restate the 10, just for those of you who want to skip ahead to see the other half of the live stream. I know there's one half talking about Wish, there's the other half talking about what it is on how to be a better YouTuber, right? So again, I'm gonna state the 10, and I'm gonna just sum up everything that's been going on for this live stream, right? So again, to be a better YouTuber, to be better at social media, again, boils down to these 10 that I feel is most important, right? It's just my opinion, okay? So again, don't clickbait. Don't just tempt people to come into the show, right? Stick to your niche. If you're being very specific, awesome. If you want to branch out, let people know, right? Experiment with the design. Again, design, it's all down about who you want to reach and what it is you want to do, right? Pay attention to the analytics if you want to get into the data, right? And some people look at that. I look at it from time to time only because I want to see where you guys are and to know, can I make the content at your most convenient, right? And then again with the thumbs, right? This can be we have to be very cautious of, right? Because it tells us something happened during the video where people may not get it, or maybe people are trying to say something, right? Or whatever, right? Again, don't let these always affect you, right? Because they're just a part of our hands, right? It's just an opinion. These are just opinions, right? And then number 6, encourage your audience, like how I'm doing it to you guys out there. You guys are awesome for sticking around, and when this goes onto YouTube again, I hope you guys enjoy it, right? See what's trending. Again, whatever's trending on YouTube, again, it's also important to not only to see what's going on in the world, but also to look at both sides, right? There are two sides to everything, right? And when people say things, it's not because really that they don't put thought, unless they're insane, right? But I think people have their own opinion if they can type it and if they can click the thumbs up or the subscribe button, right? People have their own opinion. Be very careful with how you look at things, right? Yeah, you can see what's trending, but also see what's going on, right? See what's going on and be very careful with how you do it, right? And then 8, collaborate. enjoy what other people are doing and take it all in and see what other people are going to do, what other people can do for you as much as what you can do for other people, right? YouTube is an awesome platform to work together, and I'm not gonna argue. It's been an awesome doing that, right? It's been awesome to get to see you guys. It's awesome to get to see everyone do other things, right? And if it's YouTube, number 9, be creative. And number 10, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to see what's going on. Don't be afraid to do what you want to do. Because in the end, as a YouTuber, really, it's not even a science. It's a basic thing that you do. If you want to do it, go for it. See how it goes. And it's up to you what you want to do with YouTube, right? You want to keep watching on it? Awesome. If you want to actually get down into what it is that you find that you love, go for it. Be a creator. Be a watcher. It doesn't matter, right? And so, I think that can wrap it up for this live stream of Convos. Again, if you guys are wondering what the heck I was just talking about earlier, again, first half, I was talking about Wish. Wish is an awesome movie that I think many people can look forward to. And I think that Disney, if they do it right, it might be something there that they can look into. And I know people can be cautiously optimistic, and I'm gonna respect that because of what Disney has been doing recently, and I understand that. But I'm gonna keep an open mind that maybe Disney can get their act together, right? And then on the other half, I was talking about what with being a better YouTuber, being a better person on social media, how to improve not views but also how to be better at it, right? And so there's just that. So hopefully, when this processes, I hope it doesn't take more than an hour. I hope it's only gonna take a couple minutes. And whoever's on, I see that one person there on the top, right over there. I don't know who you are, but just let me know in the chat who you are. Shout you out. Just because of the fact that I want to respect anyone who came in, right? You guys are awesome, and it was absolutely wonderful to have you guys over here. And I got to see many people come in and do their own thing, and just to be over here onto the channel again. You guys are awesome, and my tone may not show it, but you guys are amazing to have over here. And if not for you guys, I wouldn't be doing. If I wasn't concerned, I wouldn't be doing what the heck I'm doing, right? So again, you guys are amazing. Love you guys so much, and you guys have been an awesome audience. And this has been an awesome live stream just because I got to see more people, but also I got to see, I got to do a topic that I love, and I absolutely cannot wait for more live streams to come. And I'll see how it goes. Maybe it might change. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments. Let me know if anything, all right? So to whoever has been on, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, please like, share, sub, and much love. This is Mr. T, and I was over here. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been amazing. Love you guys so much. I will see you at the next live stream, premiering next Friday. We'll see how it goes. Let me know, guys, and I'll see what I can do, right? This has been amazing. Whoever had just come on, about to sign off. You have been an amazing audience. Just leave yourself in the comments. I'll give you a shout out. I don't know how this is gonna go, but you guys have been amazing. Thank you all so much. And I'm gonna end off this live stream right now. Again, like, share, sub, much love. I will see you at the next live stream, or at the next episode, or at the next meme, or at the next community post. You guys have been amazing. All right, peace out, and have an awesome night, or morning, or afternoon. All right, bye guys.